second Board of Education meeting to order at 7 p.m. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you do roll call, please?
Mr. Battani. Here. Ms. Frederickson.
Here.
Mr. Wade. Here. Mrs. Smith.
Here.
Mr. St. Ange, not here. Mr. Walton here. Mrs. Edwards.
Here.
6 members.
Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
We do have one deletion that will be under finance, B number 2, approval of venture international contract. We need to delete that. Thank you.
Do we have our student council update?
Do I need to stand anywhere specific, because last time there was a mic in it?
No, you're
Good.
fine.
Okay.
Right there's good.
Okay, so my name is Bernadetta Lozinski, I'm part of student council, and there are some things that have been going on in our school. Last Friday, 6 Almont students, all seniors, attended the academic UAC luncheon at Greystone Golf Course. They were recognized for both their academic and athletic achievements and were awarded medals. Recently, the Spanish 1 class went on a field trip and learned how to salsa dance. Mr. Lusby's problem-solving class is planning a field trip to an escape room in May. Also, Ms. Wright will be taking art students to the Flint Institute of Arts to see a glass blowing demonstration. This last Friday, seniors had their senior breakfast where they ate, received their cap and gown. They opened their time capsules from 8th grade. They opened their Kiss the Senior notes and took pictures. It was organized by Project Graduation. Student Council has also been planning different things for Teacher Appreciation Week as well as Spirit Days, and some upcoming dates would be prom is on May 11th at Boulder Point in Oxford, and there is a school play titled The Curious Savage going on May 3rd. Also on May 3rd there is an art show.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you very much for being
Appreciate
here.
you coming.
Next we have Waiter recognition, Mr. Bruno.
Yeah, we've got a couple of our wonderful WIN folks here with me can we stand up here? Is that cool?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you all for having us. I'm back again. I talked at the work session the other day. You guys can get tired of me. So we're going to highlight our WIN program. That's our What I Need program. And that we do that, I've got a couple of our wonderful WIN ladies here with us tonight. And they're going to share some of the work that they do. And we've got some more here for moral support as well. So our WIN program, it is a research-backed intervention for students needing that additional academic support. Our paraprofessionals, they're all trained, working under the guidance of our teachers in OP, and they meet for about 20 minutes in 4 blocks per week, 20-minute blocks of ELA in the morning, 20-minute blocks of math in the afternoon. To help us determine who this is, it's all really data-backed as well as teacher observation. So students who haven't quite met that benchmark on either an NWA at the start of the year or a DRA at the start of the year, they are the ones who are identified as qualifying for math and or ELA support. Some receive only in one subject, some in others, or in both, just depending on what their needs are. And to determine this, our teachers meet in what's called data days 3 times per year, once at the start of the year after NWA, once in February, and then once at the end of the year. We also determine some things for the upcoming school year. They spend some time reviewing assessment support and then find where their students need the most support. Some students may need it in multiple different areas. We really want to highlight what's going to get our students the most bang for their buck to help them grow the most, because this is really, really wonderful, impactful time where they're getting dedicated support in addition to the amazing teaching that they're already getting in their classroom. So in order to have a really great, successful intervention, I think there's really 4 key things that our team does really well. Number 1, these ladies here, as well as their teachers at OP, if you haven't met them, they just know their students so well and know precisely what they need, not only based off that data, but just based off of being great teachers who are so involved in what their students need. Number 2, that collaboration piece. These ladies do a great job of working alongside the teachers, and the teachers do the same thing, so that way they can see different things and determine what is that best course of action for my students when we have these additional 20 minutes every day to supplement what they're doing already in that great classroom. And then we have some really great research-backed methods of teaching. We'll talk some more about those when we get specifically into ELA and math. But it's really important that we're not just using any old resources. We're finding really the best ones that we have available at our fingertips. And then lastly, of course, training and preparation. You don't go out and run a great race without preparing. In the same way, these ladies spend a lot of their time throughout the day preparing when they're not with kids to make sure they're ready to teach our kids the highest quality things so they're ready to perform academically, which also gives them that social boost by just seeing that academic growth feeling really great. So I'm going to turn it over to our ladies in just a second to talk about some WIN, or about ELA specifically. But generally, these are pull-out services in the mornings. We've been using different programs. A great program we use for reading is called How to Plan Differentiated Reading Instruction. It's a great book to help us approach these things. And then really this time of year also helping our students get that extra M-STEP prep as they gear up for those tests in 3rd grade to see just how much they've learned. So I'm going to turn it over to our ladies to talk a little bit about what this looks like in WIN, in ELA.
My name is Brenda Savani, and I actually am a retired teacher who had my master's in reading, and I spent 12 years as an interventionist in reading. And I started off by volunteering, and then they recruited me to be, I'm only there for 2 hours a day, 4 days a week, but I wasn't ready to retire when COVID hit, and I felt I needed to. I want to let you know that you guys are getting an amazing deal with these ladies because they are so good. I mean, I've done this for a long time, and when you've got, there's a lot of them that have really touched my heart, but this one little boy has really touched my heart, and I keep wanting to take him home. And
Appreciate you not doing that.
I'm not doing that. I have 3 older sons, but I would take another one. But anyways, just from January to March, he went up 5 levels in reading, and which is amazing. And lots of times with these little kids, and I was just asking about the 1st graders because I'm not there when they do 1st grade usually. And I said there was a little boy, and I knew him because his grandparents lived across the street. And I said, I haven't seen him since like the beginning of school. And they said, oh, well, his teacher and I decided he only was in here like 5 weeks because he just had summer slide. And as soon as we got him back into it and gave him that little extra push, he was back in the room and he doesn't need us anymore. And that's what we're working towards. And that's what they're doing. Guys, they're amazing at it. It's a program that's, you're getting more bang for your buck than you realize.
I appreciate that. And that just, again, one great example of the amazing work that these ladies are doing, and the kids buy in and the teacher buy in and everybody's work to help our students grow in ELA. Similarly in math, I'm just going to talk about some of the impact of that in just a moment as well. This is on a push-in basis, and with our teachers going in the afternoon, or our paras going into the classrooms in the afternoon. So Ms. Newell, take it away.
So math is newer for us this year, and we are able to keep students in the classroom to participate in the lesson with the teachers, but we pull them to a smaller group in the back to help guide them through it. So if they get stuck or tripped up on something, we can catch it right away, but they're not missing that instruction in the classroom. Especially with this new math, we need to hear the language that the teachers are using, so we're using the correct language, so we all are kind of on the same page helping the students learn this new math. We are in each grade level, and as we're working with this new math program, since it's new to us, we're able to see how it's building off of each other. So when we're in a classroom with a 3rd grader, we know what the language was like in 2nd grade. If they're kind of behind on something, we're able to help push them forward.
Thanks. So you see those gaps being filled at the same time they're getting that grade level instruction, because research shows us we need that grade level instruction as well as those additional gaps being filled by these amazing ladies. So the impact of WIN really can be felt across the board. Our students, many of them just thrive in this smaller group setting to get that closer one-on-one attention, or 3 or 4 or 5-on-1 attention, allowing them to get that extra support that they might need to be successful. For families, what a blessing to have that additional teaching time from another amazing trained person at our site. For our teachers, they get to continue pushing all their kids forward, but knowing that they're not going to leave anybody behind because they've got these wonderful ladies here pushing them forward and helping fill those gaps. And they get a collaboration partner, which we all know in this field is so important to have that additional person to work alongside. And then for all of us at OP and really Almont community schools in general, we just get to see our kids thrive academically and socially. We see those, not only those test scores, which is amazing, but we just get to see kids grow and build that confidence because they're getting to grow and learn alongside these folks here. We heard some of these success stories from our ladies. I just want to highlight a couple other ones. We had a student who came to us as a 1st grader, not with, like, as you can see, not knowing a single letter, and as a 3rd grader no longer needs that additional support because they're able to thrive and grow like this. We have students come to us. We had a little guy come to us with very limited English proficiency, but through the work of these ladies, as well as our one of our paraprofessionals working along the English language support, was just able to grow and thrive with this. And really, I think any kid who comes not only to OP, but then gets this additional support is only going to be the better for it. So we're really, really blessed to have this program here, and these ladies deserve a lot of credit, as do our students here. So we appreciate the opportunity to share, and thank you all.
Thank you. I don't have a question, but as a parent to my third grader now, but my baby, when she was in kindergarten, she had wind support, and it was an absolute godsend. I think the OP does a fantastic job of making it like an exciting thing and not, I don't wanna say stigmatizing, but not making it like where they feel excluded from the classroom. They're excited to go, they think it's awesome, and she absolutely thrives. And I love this program, and everyone involved in it does an incredible job.
Yeah, appreciate it. The kids are, like you said, the kids are so excited. They like just kind of like running down the hallway. I gotta slow down, like the learning's still gonna be there when they
When
get
she
there.
didn't get to go to wind time in first grade, she thought like her world was broken. She was like, why do I not get to go to this?
I mean, that's how amazing these folks are.
They
The
really
amazing
are.
support that they
They're
have.
great.
Well, thank y'all. We really appreciate it.
Thank you
Anytime
very
you guys want to come
much.
see Win, you're more
Thank
than
you
welcome to
very
come be a part of that.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
So,
Great, that brings us to our first questions and comments from the audience. Just a reminder, these questions, comments are limited to 30 minutes. Yes, Mr. Bowman?
Just a quick question, hopefully you can answer it when you get to it on the agenda with the calendar. Last week you talked about starting on the 26th rather than the 19th, and we at the ISD set the common calendar. I'd like to be able to report back why you chose the 26th rather than the 19th, like the common calendar for the county.
Anyone else? Yes, Mrs. Bellows?
I actually just want to speak to wind time as well. I mean, it was, 2 of my 3 kids went through it. I wasn't available for my oldest. And I had, like my middle one, who's now in 6th grade, was really far behind in his reading. And it really made a huge difference. He did it for like 2 full years, and it really helped him. And by the time he got into 3rd grade, or I guess it was towards the end of 3rd grade, he was finally back at like reading level and everything. So it's a really great program. And then Claire was in it last year, my youngest, and she was not doing well. Like, most of the kids they're kind of struggling, they're down. And once she did that, and then that summer school in the middle, this past summer, it was like night and day. And now she loves to read. She's actually my only kid that likes to read. And they've just done such a great job. So it's definitely a program, like, whatever you guys got to do to keep that funded, keep it going, because it's really helping a lot of kids that are kind of would slip through the cracks normally. So that's all I got.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, now on to consent agenda. Mr. Walton?
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
I move the Board of Education approve the consent agenda. A, approval of the minutes from the March 18, 2024 regular meeting. B, approval of the minutes from the April 1, 2024 special meeting. C, approval of the minutes from the April 16, 2024 work session. And D, approval of the minutes from the April 16, 2024 special meeting.
Support.
Motion and support, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Approval of bills payable and financial reports.
Mrs. Edwards.
Yes, Mr. Lee.
I move the Board of Education approve the bills payable and the financial reports as proposed by administration and reviewed by the Finance Committee as follows. March 9th, 2024 through April 12th, 2024. General fund total, $438,727.31. School lunch fund, $108,948.36. Student activity fund, $18,293.28. 2014 sinking fund, $810.45. Subtotal, $566,779.40. ACH wire transactions, payroll March 15th and March 29th. $987,904.01. EduStaff, $12,983.64. Health Equity, HSA, EE, and ER, 3 months, $78,268.48. Credit card, VMO, $16,451.84. Health insurance, $107,150.47. Total funds spent, $1,769,537.84. Check numbers as listed below.
Support. Motion and support, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? If you haven't already, please take a moment to look at the Orchard Primary, Middle School, High School, and Athletic Student Activity Account Reports. And that brings us to our superintendent's report.
Let's start with the building reports, highlight a few things. So for the Orchard Primary, first and second grade had their spring concert on Tuesday, March 16th. Mr. McAllister did a great job once again preparing our students, and they did an awesome job. Kindergarten Roundup was last Wednesday and Thursday. OP had lots of fun meeting graders in the class of 2037. Mr. Bruno, is that correct? Oh my
Yeah, it's not a real year, but I guess
Wow. Do you get a number, Mr. Bruno, by any chance, of how many for that specific
At
night?
Roundup?
At Roundup,
We
yeah.
had, I believe, in the low 70s at Roundup, total who have completed their registration who haven't necessarily all finished. We're, I believe, at 99 as of today.
Amazing, yeah.
We're getting.
Inching up. Back in March, right before the snowstorm, OP had an awesome science fair and reading night showcasing some of the amazing science projects and giving our students the opportunity to visit the book fair. Also, OP has some exciting field trips coming up towards the end of the school year, including a third grade going to Lansing, second grade doing a walking tour of historic Almont, first grade visiting Walcott Farm, and kindergarten going to the Longway Museum. So a lot of fun times coming up there for OP students. For the middle school, M-STEP testing is underway. Teachers and students have been working hard in preparation for these important assessments. Thank you to the PTSO for providing snacks and water for the students throughout the testing period. That's very appreciated. Also, they held their spring rock shop and raffle on Friday. Thank you to all the parents and staff members who pitched in to make this event a success for the students in recognition of their positive behavior and upholding the rock expectations. Planning is underway for field day, which will be held on Tuesday, June 4th. That's middle school. High school, per Mr. Shiflett, Mrs. Norrod, high school counselor, Mr. Shiflett, will be meeting with departments this week to review the next year's schedule for the master schedule. As mentioned, the BWAC luncheon was held on April 18th, honoring our top 5 academic students and 2 student athletes. Our high school students represented Almont very well, and the high school administration, including myself, was able to enjoy a wonderful lunch with them. A huge thank you to Teresa Denowith for organizing this year's testing. Mrs. Denowith has been such an asset to the entire district. She's truly amazing. The senior breakfast was held last Friday, April 19th, and was top notch. The parents did a wonderful job, and it appeared that all the seniors were having a great morning. The Earth Day cleanup, don't want to steal any thunder here, but the Earth Day cleanup held in downtown Almont on Saturday had many student and staff participants from all buildings. Mrs. Von Hiltmeyer, myself, Mr. Shiflett, and I had fun working alongside several students on Saturday, and would like to thank Mrs. Edwards too for all of your work in organizing that amazing event. It really is a great event. Students of the month for the high school for March: 12th grade, Grace Laura; 11th grade, Jackson Sadlin; 10th grade, Carly Johnson; 9th grade, Eric Brown; and 8th grade, Elizabeth Wetzel. So that is the building reports. Just a couple other reports that I wanted to share, a couple updates just regarding preschool. Now, we were talking about kindergarten, but regarding tuition-based preschool, after speaking with Mrs. Porter and working with central office, I'm recommending that we do what we're moving forward with, offering the AM and PM tuition-based preschool for the 24-25 school year. At this time last year, we had about 19 pre-registered students. We're now up to actually probably closer to 30 after today's conversation or email with Mrs. Porter. So those numbers are inching up, which is great. And I know that I've been bugging our new administrator of finance at the end here, Ms. Kathy. for some numbers and making sure that we're keeping an eye on those numbers. So thank you for working on that as we get these updates. But definitely, the factors weighing into this decision, we're a district, we do wanna cater to our wider range of families' needs, whether it's working families with varying schedules, single parents or caregivers with other commitments. Also allowing for more individualized attention and better student-teacher ratios, which leads to benefiting our children's learning development, obviously at a very early age. Also, again, supporting families and contributing to the overall well-being and educational success of our community's children. And I do believe we can attract young families to stay with Almont Community Schools and live here for years to come. So I'd like to kind of keep our eye on those numbers, but would recommend that we continue with the AM and PM session for tuition-based preschool, as this has come to my attention as to what our plan is. And just to share that we had a local district, we have information that a local district is no longer having a half-day program, so this might also contribute to an increased number for us as well. So just a FYI there. And then one other communication. I just want to recognize that this week marks the official administrative or Secretary's Week, Secretary's Day on April 24th. On that note, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of our incredible administrative assistants. Your hard work, dedication, and unwavering commitment to going above and beyond every day are truly appreciated. Thank you for keeping our office running smoothly. We all know who really runs the schools, don't we, Mr. Bruno? Okay, so thank you for your invaluable contributions to our team's success. And of course, my amazing assistant here sitting to my right. I love that attention, Mrs. Myers, but I probably share this with you every day, and again, we had a chance to go out to dinner tonight, but your incredible assistance and patience, I don't know what I would do without you. So I really thank you for all of your hard work this past year. And I do look forward to continue to strengthen our central office, and we're making some good things happen, so thank you so much. Special shout out to you. Thank you.
I just want to thank Amanda too. She's the very best. She holds us all together. So thank you. All right. Now we have finance and the approval of the lawn maintenance contract.
Purchases of contract services shall be negotiated either verbally by a request for a proposal or through the bid process as determined by the superintendent. Such services that cost more than $10,000 annually require the approval of the board. Our lawn service provider has provided new pricing that is competitive. We have had the same company for the past 3 years and are happy with their service. Pricing is attached and has been discussed with the board. Discussed and recommended by committee, 3-0.
Mrs. Edwards.
Yes, Mr. Wade.
I move the Board of Education extend the current lawn services contract with YSI through the end of the 2024 grass cutting season.
Support. Motion and support. Is there any discussion?
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes, Mr. Patino.
It's listed in your pricing attached and discussed. Pricing is not attached. It has an empty space within that. This is an unsigned term without information.
And the pricing, Mr. King, yeah, Mr. King, the pricing is based off of the March 2023 contract, so there's no updated or increased pricing from March 2023.
Just list in the information, pricing is attached.
Okay.
And then one additional question. We got a lot of people that are talking about general fund and just making sure we're doing our due diligence. Is there a reason we can go up for RFP to make sure that we're actually getting proper pricing?
I think given our circumstances this year, we were looking for the extension without a business manager and a medical, so we're looking for getting through this next season as an extension.
So we're not doing an RFP because
Happy with the service and able to get through the 2024 season.
doesn't really answer my question of why we're not doing an RFP.
We have the ability to extend the contract.
And our facilities manager is advising that we do so.
During, at the work session, that was
fund. That's
Sure.
been the mantra.
Sure.
So if this is a case of $5,000 or $10,000 that could have gone to a teacher or an administrator in savings, I think that's important to look at.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay?
Now we have personnel.
The Board of Education may agree to a resignation, retirement, any time or replacement if necessary suitable to the school administration the boards obtain, provided that the circumstances underlying the resignation and retirement are valid in the opinion of the board and warrant a search for replacement. The facts here, we have Lori Crawford who's retiring at the end of the school year after many years of service. Richie Faze is retiring at the end of the school year after 30 years as a teacher. Teresa Dunawith is retiring at the end of the school year after many years of service. Tracy Tappan is retiring at the end of the school year after 25 years of teaching at community schools. Lee Stroh is retiring at the end of the school year after 30 years of teaching. And Allison Sloan is resigning at the end of the year for a position in another district. And this is recommended by committee, it was 2-0.
Stand by. Ms. Edwards?
Yes, Mr. Katie.
I move the Board of Education approve the retirements of Lori Crawford, Richie Faze, Teresa Dunawith, Tracy Tappan, and Lee Stroh. Thank them, and as well, Allison Sloan. And thank them for their years of service and best wishes in their retirement.
Support.
Motion and support, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. New hires.
The Board of Education approves all personnel. With the retirement of Teresa Dunawith, we are in need of a new testing coordinator. After interviewing several candidates, I'm pleased to recommend Mrs. Alice Gracebeard. Mrs. Gracebeard comes to us with many years of experience in education, including but not limited to teaching science, school improvement, and proctoring standardized testing. Also, these positions are being recommended as GEX positions, boys varsity assistant basketball coach, varsity assistant baseball coach. Discussed by Personnel Committee, recommended 2-0.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes, Mr. Katie.
I move that the Board of Education approve Alex Gricebeed as the new testing coordinator and welcome her to the district.
Support.
Motion and support, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And Mrs. Edwards?
Yes, Mr.
I move the Board of Education approve the following GEX positions, varsity assistant basketball coach and varsity assistant baseball coach.
Support.
Motion and support, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, annual policies approval.
The board adopts bylaws and policies for organization and operation of the board and district. Bylaws and policies may be adopted, amended, and repealed at any meeting of the board, provided a proposed adoption, amendment, or repeal shall have been proposed at a previous board meeting, and once proposed, shall remain on the agenda of each succeeding board meeting until approved or rejected. Bylaw 0131.1. The district policy service Neola has provided the following new and replacement policies. First read took place at the April 16th work session. So the volume 38, number 2, policy 1240, evaluation of the superintendent revised. Policy 2410, provision of referral or assistance rescinded. Policy 2414, reproductive health and family planning revised. Policy 2418, sex education revised. Policy 3220, professional and staff evaluation, technical correction. Policy 6320, purchasing, technical correction. Policy 6321, new school construction, renovation, technical correction. Policy 6325, procurement, federal grants, funds, technical correction. Policy 6350, prevailing wage, new. Policy 6520, payroll deductions revised. Policy 8800, religious patriotic ceremonies and observances revised.
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes, Mr. Walton.
I move the Board of Education approve the policies as discussed above.
Support.
Motion and support, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approval of school handbooks.
The Board of Education approves the student handbooks of each school. The policies and procedures contained in the handbooks serve as a guide for our students. By approving changes to the handbooks, the changes become a part of district policy. During the April work session, changes to the handbooks were discussed. Handbooks and changes were also posted in Google Drive for the board's review. Recommended by committee 2-0.
Mrs. Edwards.
Yes, Mr. Wall.
I move the Board of Education approve the recommended changes to the high school handbook, the recommended changes to the middle school handbook, and the recommended changes to the Orchard Primary Handbook.
Support.
Motion and support, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our 24-25 district calendar.
The Board of Education can, if it chooses, approve the school calendar. Attached is the tentative 2024-25 school calendar. This calendar is using the PD counted as instructional time option. This calendar meets the state legal requirements in regards to student hours and days.
Mrs. Edwards.
Yes, Mr. Wall.
I move the Board of Education adopt the attached tentative 2024-2025 school year calendar as presented.
Support.
Is there any discussion?
In regards to district calendar, it is a negotiated item. I know that the start of the school day or the starting day is up to the superintendent or district. In regards to that, as I will be going into AE negotiations, I did agree to August 19th, yes, being too early, to start the school year and to bring school or staff back. And to be honest, it's pretty stuffy and steamy in August. So it's kind of miserable, to be honest. So that is just not a hill I wanted to die on. So I am in support of starting this school year on August 26th.
We're using the same thing as we did last year. We're using our PD days as instructional time, as we are allowed to do.
That is correct.
All right, motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And lastly, curriculum and approval of high school course.
No course of study shall be taught in the schools unless it has been adopted by the board. Policy 2220. Almont High School would like to adopt sports officiating as a new PE course for the high school physical education curriculum. Discussed and recommended by committee 3-0.
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes, Ms. Britt.
I move that the Board of Education approve the adoption of sports officiating as a new course offered for the high school physical education curriculum.
Support. Motion and support, is there any discussion? I've said this at every meeting we've talked about this, so I'm gonna say it again, I'm so excited about this. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This brings us to our second and final questions and comments from the audience. And another reminder, your questions and comments are limited to 3 minutes. Any questions or comments? Yes, Mrs. Bowers.
Thank you for starting the school year a week later than everyone else. Appreciate that, although it's still a week earlier than other schools, but that's okay. I'm good with it.
Trying to strike a balance
I'm
there.
fine.
Trying to strike a balance.
It's
Can't make
ridiculous.
everyone happy, unfortunately.
It is ridiculous in here in the summer. And then also, that class sounds super cool, and I would like to take it as well. So,
Me too.
whatever that is, I would like an adult version of it. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Hi, I'm Alice Kreisbeard, and I'm really pleased to be back in Raiderland and be an employee of the district. So I'm Alice, and I'm excited to be joining forces with a lot of the amazing people that had my son and daughter years ago.
Yeah, thank you for being
Thank
here.
you, so nice to meet you.
Welcome.
All right, if there's no other questions or comments, and I move to board comments.
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes.
A couple of things, I guess, on that venture, contract that was pulled, is that gonna be something that we put on our next, work session?
No, I would be moving forward as per my board note. I'd like to move forward and secure that contract sooner than later, so I'll be reaching out to Dr. Buckler to see, because we did decrease the term of the contract to 6 months. So that is under the $10,000 threshold, so within, yes, policy, right, I'm able to proceed with that contract, but definitely interested in making sure that I have any board questions or concerns addressed. That's why I reached out over the weekend, and then I also sent a personal message too, to make sure that any question or concerns were addressed before I proceed and secure that contract.
Okay, and then on the, have we posted our teaching and administrative positions yet? Because I see that there are several places that have already posted.
Right, I believe the high school principal position is posted.
That was it, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Mrs. Buckler?
Yes, Mrs.
I have two things. One, I just wanna say that I highly regard Mrs. Porter and Ms. Maria. They taught my son, so I love our preschool program. I'm cautiously optimistic that, this will end not in such a deficit that we're facing with it. So I just want to say that I'm cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
The other thing is I wanna thank Amanda too. She's, really been very, very helpful. So thank you, you're doing great in your role.
Actually, this is it. I just want to share, this happened a few weeks ago, but not sure the board is aware of this, but the youth wrestling program actually put on their own tournament and had all the parents from middle school and high school wrestling run in the tournament. And we had over 300 kids show up. Both of the gyms were jam-packed for the entire day. And I believe for the high school program itself, we brought in over $4,000 just for that program. Plus some share for the youth, so they can actually continue running these. So it looks like this may be an annual event, and it was very successful.
Great. Thank you for sharing.
Mr. Batani, could you say that louder? I could only hear part of it, I apologize.
Yeah, the youth wrestling program actually put on a tournament at the high school. This was weeks before spring break.
Mm.
And very successful, had over 300 kids that wrestled in the event, and raised about $4,000 for the high school, as well as actually a portion for the youth, so they can continue doing this, and hopefully it's an annual event, very successful.
Great. Okay, wrestling.
Any other board comments? Future agenda items?
Mrs. Edwards? Typically, we get a copy of the master schedule with the numbers once it's completed. So I heard you say that they were meeting with the department chairs. I don't know if that means that it's completed or.
I think it's getting to that final,
Okay.
in a final draft form, if you will, one of the
Okay.
draft forms.
Just so at some point in time.
Sure.
When that is completed, we get a copy of that.
Sure.
And continue to look at it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mr. Walton.
Ms. Edwards. I move Board of Education adjourn the April 22nd, 2024 regular meeting at 7:39 p.m.
Motion and support, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.